This is the Gamesir Kaleid Flux. I'll do a quick unboxing and later show you how to set it up. What you get first in the box is the USB-C cable, a golden braided USB-C cable, followed by the mainstay of the show being the sleek controller itself, a black controller with gold accents. I really love this design personally. And also the controller has customizable buttons at the back. Amazing stuff, to be honest. And also within the box you will find the controller's manual and 1 month of Game Pass. And remember, this applies to only new accounts. On to the hair triggers. The hair triggers are quite responsive, but here's the catch. When you have the hair triggers turned on with the lights on, the LEDs flash brightly every time you press the triggers. For daytime gaming it's not a big deal, but at night it can be really distracting, especially in a dark room. I don't see many reviews of the Gamesir Kaleid Flux talk about this issue, and I wish Gamesir gave customers an option to turn off these flashing lights when pressing the hair triggers. Now we move on to showing how to set up the Gamesir Kaleid Flux. As here I'm on the Xbox Series S. I have my Gamesir app open. I'll pick a profile. I already have one set, so I'll pick a new one just to show you guys how it's done. I'll name this, you can name this for the purposes of this video, I'll name this test. T-E-S-T. Test. Now switch to the second profile. Now this is the button layout for every single button. But for me, I love to play competitively. I usually love to have my one back button mapped to B. It makes it easy for crouching quickly. And as for my sticks, I love to have them on draw. I turn on draw. I have my draw turned on each stick. It's to enable me to move the stick far from the default setting, and it makes it easy to aim. For example, if you've missed an enemy who's just passed by you, you're unable to push the stick further. And now onto the hair triggers. On the hair triggers I have them turned on, but now here's where it really matters the most. I have my values high at this point, but what I prefer doing is lowering the value. I lower the value, and one moment I'll show you. I lower the value to the most minimal value on each stick. This makes the trigger mimic a mouse click, because when you compare a mouse click and a normal controller, a mouse is obviously faster, but with their triggers they're so responsive that they mimic a mouse click. Sorry, let me go back. Yes, and I also apply the same value to the other trigger to enable the other trigger to also mimic a mouse click. And especially for fast-paced games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, and even Valorant, which I hardly play. No hate to Valorant players, by the way, but others, you see how fast and responsive the buttons are, so you can imagine how fast I am while pressing the trigger. Others, for vibration, I never touch this. I always have vibration off. And as for the lights, as I had stated earlier, this is where you can change the lights, but personally I prefer having them off. But for the purposes of this video, this is how you can turn on the lights. Remember, if the hair triggers are on, the lights will keep flashing, remember that. But personally I love to have them off, and generally this is how I have my setup, but I have it off. You have your flow, you have your rainbow, you have your standoff, you have pulse, you have alarm, and you can also have them off. Yeah, and you can just play around with the settings and just figure out what works best for you. But remember, once the hair triggers are on, the lights will keep flashing. The lights will flash a lot. If I have my hair triggers off, they don't flash. But since I love to play with hair triggers, I can't play without my hair triggers. As you can see here, they're flashing, although you can't see on the controller, but on the application here you can see they're flashing. And that's how you set up the Gamesir Kaleid Flux. If you like the video, leave a like,